Hello, this is State Representative Rob Martwick, and I'm returning to Facebook Live to discuss with you the governor's budget address. So earlier today I told you that the governor would be presenting for the third time his third annual budget, and that I was optimistic that the governor, after 2 years of massive budget deficits and running up huge debts in Illinois, that the governor would change course and adopt the responsible businessman's approach that he campaigned on and present for the first time a balanced budget. I'm sorry to report that that's not what happened. So what did happen today? So the governor came in and started talking about the budget, and he said, hey, the same things that he said in the past, which is we need to work together, which I agree. We need to propose a balanced budget, which I agree. And then he said that he did propose a balanced budget, which he didn't. More about that later. The governor then went on to say that he wishes to prioritize some new spending, which was kind of weird when we're $8 billion in the hole. He suggests a whole bevy of new spending programs. He wants to increase funding for K through 12 education. He wants to increase spending on MAP grants to help low-income and middle-income kids go to school. This is in stark contrast to what he's proposed in the past, where he proposed large cuts to these sorts of things. He talks about an investment into our roads. He talked about investments into programs to keep prisoners from returning to prison, sort of an anti-recidivism program. All good things that I would agree with are worthwhile expenditures, but it was strange to hear him suggest that we increase these programs. After he suggested these large increases to the programs, he really didn't offer any way to actually balance the budget. He said he would work with us on tax increases if we gave him the political reforms, which is really no different than what he's been saying over the course of the last 2 years. And he pays for all of the spending with pension reform, which is, as we've learned here, a very difficult thing. We all want to do it, but the Supreme Court has said that our options are extremely limited. So I look forward to seeing his pension bill and how it works, if there is an opportunity to save us money. But we know that there is not enough to close the gap in that. We also know that there is, he wants to save some money from employee health care, which is, again, if he can do that, he has to go through the collective bargaining process. And if he's able to achieve that, that's fine. But again, these are guesses at most, right? So curious about what he did, I took a look and did a little research of my own, and it would appear that in order to pay for some of the new spending that he proposes, he's proposing a whole list of new cuts. And instead of just cuts, he's doing wholesale eliminations of programs. So immigrant services are just wholesale eliminated in the state of Illinois under this. Services for people with epilepsy or autism, wholesale elimination. There will be no services provided to these very vulnerable people. Teen parenting services, youth employment, and after-school programs called Teen Reach, which help kids in troubled neighborhoods find constructive alternatives to crime, eliminated from the budget. Emergency food program, immigrant integration, Children's Place, welcoming centers, Arc of Illinois Lifespan Project, all eliminated. That's not a cut. That's a pretty dramatic shift, and I guess that is the governor's priorities. But even further, I looked and I thought to myself, even eliminating those programs, wholesale eliminations, would save the state money, but it wouldn't really save the state a lot. And by the math, it looks like we're still about $4.5 billion short, even with everything that he's doing and the assumptions he's making that he probably can't have in these massive program eliminations. So I took a look through the actual budget document, and you can probably see it here on my iPad. I'm looking at the budget document. You can find this online. And I paged down to page 30, and it looks like there's a line item here that says, and I'll blow it up and you can see it here, working together on a grand bargain. And apparently, working together on a grand bargain, he attributes $4.5 billion of savings in the state budget to working together on a grand bargain. Well, this is exactly what he did last year. This is at best an abdication of his responsibilities. unwilling to show how he gets the revenue to pay for the programs he wants to pay for, unable to say how he would preserve programs that are essential, seeking to eliminate programs that serve our most vulnerable citizens, and basically presenting a false budget that is $4.5 billion out of balance. We will never move forward until our governor accepts the responsibility of his office and has the courage to put together a balanced budget. I filed a fiscal plan on Friday, and I'll be sharing the details about it with you soon, within the next week. And it is not an easy plan. It is not easy to tell people what the actual state of our finances is. But here it is right here, folks. We have to have the courage to address our problems, because if we don't, we will just continue what we've done under the last 2 years under this governor. We will make them worse and worse and worse, and every year it will be harder to fix, and we will all have to pay more and more and more taxes to fix it. The only way we will ever get our hands around this huge problem is to begin addressing it in earnest right now. I have a plan to do that. I'm not suggesting that it's the be-all and end-all. I can't guarantee that this is everything that anyone would ever want. It proposes some very difficult things, but it makes reinvestments into our state that I think over the long term will lower our taxes compared to reckless budgeting and spending like this. So that's it. That's the governor's plan. Unfortunately, I wish I had better news to report. I was very optimistic. But as always, I seek your comments, criticisms, complaints. Please reach out to me. You can respond here on this Facebook video. You can also call my office anytime, 773-286-1115. You can find me at 5940 North Milwaukee Avenue in Chicago. Please weigh in. It's your democracy. We're not going to fix it unless you get involved. So join me, and together we'll make a better Illinois. Thanks for watching.